All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Matt Mayoko from NBC Sports Bay Area. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe, like, and comment. All the interaction really helps, and I do enjoy hearing what you guys have to say. On this video, which I'm taping Thursday afternoon, I'm telling you, I think there's a pretty good chance that Ricky Pearsall will make his NFL debut on Sunday. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. But first, this is brought to you by Canyon Club Brewery. It's a restaurant, a beer garden providing fresh bites, tasty beer, or tasty food, fresh bites, however you want to stack it. It's in a family friendly atmosphere in Moraga, California, right down the street from where I live. And it's definitely one of my go to spots. And there's a new location opening soon in the Danville Livery, right off of 680. And I can guarantee you that I'm going to mix that into my rotation. It's right on my drive from where I live to Santa Clara covering the 49ers. So hope to see you there real soon. That's Canyon Club Brewery, headquartered in Moraga, but moving to Danville as well. Okay, so Ricky Pearsall. Kyle Shanahan said earlier in the week, if he's ready, he's ready. If he's not, he's not. I think he's real close to being ready. In fact, I think just watching him on the practice field, seeing how he's carrying himself, I know he had to get his cardio up, but I do think that there's a really good chance that he could be active for this game. He's currently on the NFI list, reserved non-football injury. The 49ers opened his practice window on Monday, and they have designated him for return. So we'll see what Kyle Shanahan has to say about this on Friday. On Thursday, I listened to him when he was on KNBR, and he didn't really give any indication, but he certainly did not rule out that Ricky Pearsall could get on the field. I kind of get the sense that the 49ers were very much going to take, or at least they were planning on taking, a very wait and see attitude, a very wait and see approach. After all, it was just 8 weeks ago that he was shot during that armed robbery attempt. 49ers, I think, just wanted to hold themselves back from trying to put him out there on the field too soon. But I think Ricky Pearsall is making a tremendous push, not with his words, but with how he's practicing on the field to get on the field. And what kind of clouds the picture, I think, for the 49ers when it comes to the wide receiver position is I'm not sure that Juwan Jennings is going to be available for this game. So one of the questions I had about Ricky Pearsall, when you figure, okay, when he gets healthy, how does he fit in? I think it's kind of taking care of itself because he wasn't going to jump ahead of Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, or Juwan Jennings. But with Jennings more than likely out for this game with a hip injury, with Deebo Samuel clearly bothered by a wrist injury, there's your opening for Ricky Pearsall. Now, he doesn't have to play 50 snaps or 40 snaps. I don't know how much he would play if he's active. Maybe it's a dozen to 25 snaps, something like that. But I think this is a game where Ricky Pearsall can not only suit up for the game, but also make some sort of impact as the 49ers play the Kansas City Chiefs. In a lot of ways, the Chiefs are the team that inspired the 49ers or motivated the 49ers to select Ricky Pearsall in the first round of the draft in the first place. The 49ers has been talked about a lot. They had difficulty separating against the Chiefs defensive backs in man coverage. Ricky Pearsall, where he was selected at number 31 overall, the 49ers had him rated as the best route runner, the best against man coverage. He has 4.41 speed, good vertical leap. He had everything the 49ers were looking for. His last season of college football, he was a fifth-year senior at Florida, 65 catches, 965 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He can help the 49ers in the red zone, but he can also help them in a lot of different ways. And so just seeing Pearsall on the practice field, it did give the 49ers team a boost, and you can tell that he's super excited to make his NFL debut. And I'm just saying, I think there's a good chance it's Sunday. So Shanahan didn't give out the word, didn't make any announcements on Thursday. Will he on Friday? Perhaps. That's when the 49ers have to make the injury report public as far as who's questionable, who's out, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not sure Juwan Jennings is going to be able to play in this game. And then the 49ers would have to make a roster move by 1 p.m. Saturday in order to get Pearsall active on the 53-man roster for this game. I'm just telling you, I think there's a pretty strong chance. I feel a lot more confident right now that Pearsall could make his debut than I did yesterday or earlier in the week, or even when Kyle Shanahan talked about, they wanted to take kind of maybe a more pragmatic, long view, ramp up approach for Ricky Pearsall. But I think the combination of the 49ers perhaps being a little thin at wide receiver and also Pearsall through his actions on the practice field, basically saying, hey, I'm ready. Use me. That's what I'm projecting that as far as what Ricky Pearsall has shown. So I think there's a good chance, and that would add just another level of excitement to this game, 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, let's go through the injury report from Thursday. Kevin Givens did not practice with a groin injury. I think that's a core muscle kind of thing that has been hampering him a little bit. It's been bothering him a while. I think he's probably going to play in this game. Jennings, as I said, the hip injury, I don't think he's going to play. And then the two kickers, have not seen either one of them. I have seen Jake Moody around, but not in uniform. I think he's still a couple weeks away with the right high ankle sprain. But the other kicker is Matthew Wright. He's been bothered by a back and shoulder injury. I think that Anders Carlson will be the 49ers' third kicker in 3 weeks. Carlson was signed to the practice squad. So that would be another case of the 49ers would have to make a move on Saturday to elevate him from the practice squad for him to be available in the game. So we would know on Saturday around 1 or 2 p.m. who the 49ers kicker on Sunday will be based on if they elevate Anders Carlson. I know a lot of you are thinking Matthew Wright's a kicker. Is the shoulder all that important? But it's also a back situation. And I'm thinking that just he's not a long kicker to begin with. And so that would take a few yards, I think, off of his kickoffs, which would only increase the possibility that he would have to go make a tackle or that there would be a long return. Okay, so then the limited guys, I mentioned Deebo Samuel, limited with a wrist injury. We'll see how that turns out. He is wearing the blue no contact jersey, as was Jordan Mason, the running back. Kyle Shanahan did suggest on KNBR during his show on Thursday afternoon that Mason would be available to play in this game. So I think all the guys who are listed as limited should be available. So that'd be Deebo Samuel, Jordan Mason, Malik Mustafa, defensive tackles, Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott, and also cornerback special teams player Darrell Luter. So there you have it, folks. Kind of a rundown of the 49ers injury situation and just some notes from this game. Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, continues to really praise Brock Purdy and said basically he sees no weakness in his game. And I'm just reminded that just a couple weeks after the Super Bowl, Steve Spagnuolo went on Peter Schrager's podcast and said that he actually got Brock Purdy's number and texted him and tracked down his number and texted him just to tell him how much respect he has for him and how much he felt like he played a terrific game in the Super Bowl. So when I look at this game, in a lot of ways, it is about defeating the best team in the NFL, the two-time defending champs, one of two unbeaten teams that remain in the NFL. But it's also about the 49ers solving an issue that they struggled with a little bit in the Super Bowl, and that's Steve Spagnuolo's defense. So if Brock Purdy, if Kyle Shanahan, if they can come up with the answers on offense, and this is an offense that doesn't have Christian McCaffrey yet, I think what this will do is it can really serve as a springboard, and it might create more problems for defenses that face the 49ers down the line. In other words, well, it worked for the Chiefs, but when the Chiefs tried it again, they struggled with it, and the 49ers have the answers. That's the key to this game for Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy to supply the answers in going up against this really good Kansas City Chiefs defense. A couple of things that I find interesting about Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes. And it runs counterintuitive to what you would think. If you look at the stats from this season, one of these quarterbacks is a dink and dunk guy who relies on yards after the catch. The other guy has been throwing it down the field and hasn't been getting many yards after the catch from his receivers. Now, obviously, the way I set that up, you know which one is which, but wouldn't you think that Patrick Mahomes, with that big arm of his, would be the guy who's thrown the ball down the field? But that hasn't been the case. In fact, Patrick Mahomes ranks 31st in the NFL with an average air yards of 5.3 per pass attempt. For Brock Purdy, he ranks first in the NFL with 9.6 yards per pass attempt. And as far as yards after the catch, the 49ers are way, way down that list. Brock Purdy is 28th in the league with only 4.4 yards after the catch from his pass targets, as opposed to Patrick Mahomes' 7.2. So that's one of the elements of this game. And it'll be really interesting. As I noted earlier, if Ricky Pearsall is able to play in this game, which it certainly is trending in that direction, far more positive than it looked several days ago. You know, how much do the 49ers use him? How much a part of the offense can he be? Can he be a difference maker? Maybe that's asking too much for him to step in his NFL debut, week 7 of his rookie season, and make a huge impact. I will say this: if he catches one pass in this game, if he suits up in this game, it will be it will just be an amazing thing to watch. And I'm sure the crowd here at Levi Stadium will be ultra receptive and very appreciative for the efforts that young man has made to get on the field. So that's it for now. Again, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe, like, comment, and that's it for now.